Hello everyone and welcome back to the Steam Trail Gaming News, this time for the 14th November 2011. My name is Kralizec, I will be your host for tonight, and well, let's get straight into it. We got 2.5 news pieces today because one is on PUBG and the two other, well, 1.5, let's just call them two other. They're both on Star Wars Battlefront and EA. But let's start with the one in PUBG. So PUBG has introduced a new anti-cheat policy. They decided not to go with banning this time, because it seems banning just doesn't work. Instead, they decided to punish the cheaters in a bit more creative way. It's not something that hasn't been done before, but the thing they started to do is that they started putting cheaters inside the same matches. So cheaters get matched up with other cheaters. And to a degree, it's sort of hilarious because it means every cheater now has to fight other cheaters. I just imagine, like, you're running there with an aimbot and you're like, yeah, I'm going to snipe him. And suddenly you just get shot from him. And you're like, what just happened? And yeah, so that's it. Right now, there's a few threats online that you can find where cheaters are complaining that their queue times are a bit longer than they used to, because, well, it takes a bit longer to queue up cheaters with cheaters. And then they're commenting, so I'm suddenly playing with other cheaters and it's pretty noticeable. So let me hear from one post that is here. So, a cheater: I did a search on the forum, but I didn't find anything similar to my situation. After finishing my new aimbot yesterday, I felt bored and tried making some fun by winning a game with a crossbow and another with a pistol. Later, I found my matching time was significantly longer than before. I usually get in a game instantly after hitting play, but now it takes about 1 or 2 minutes. It only happens on this account, and my other accounts still have instant matching time. Does that mean my account is flagged? I'm sure my hack is undetected, and I've never been banned before. So yeah, your account is flagged because you're a cheater, and they probably detected your hack even though you think they didn't. There were a few more comments in this thread. So another person saying, queue is super slow for me right now. Another one: still got matches with cheaters after long matchmaking, using pack edits only. Just be careful, folks. So I don't really know what pack edits are. I'm going to guess that there's something with game files. I don't know. Another person said, same, and every time I get killed, it's some gods who seem to hit me with every shot while I'm running around like the Flash, having 5-minute queue time and gods enemy partially. Yeah, so you're running around at ridiculous speeds and you're getting hit. Seems like your account is flagged as well. Yeah, another person. Yeah, this one is at least like, yeah, they got us. Seems they definitely implemented cheater matchmaking. Wonder how they determine it though. Well, either they're just seeing you messed with the files, they're seeing some programs that they probably have on list. Maybe it's just some scripts that they're looking for and they just noticed them. I don't really know how anti-cheat software works. I'm not that well versed in coding, but I just find this ridiculous. One last person I got here. So I got duo squad top 7 with cheaters, magic bullets plus removals and aim, and again and again and again. Cheater matchmaking works. Yeah, cheater matchmaking works, and I will say it's probably the best way actually to deal with cheaters. Like, banning doesn't do anything. They will just buy another copy and do it there. They usually make enough money by selling these cheats, and they need to test them somehow. And the only way to test them is by actually playing the game. So they probably got tons and tons of accounts just to play on. And yeah, as I said, it's not the first company that did something like this. Even the Xbox One has a reputation system where not only cheaters, but even people who have like just a negative reputation because they're griefers or just stupid, they get a negative reputation and they get matched primarily with people with low reputations. And ideally that should mean that people who are nice should have other nice people, though we know very well that those systems doesn't work perfectly all the time. Especially as it spirals sort of out of control if you just like play on a bad day and then you get your negative reputation negative, And because you get negative people, you get negative, and so it just spirals. Yeah, I don't like that repetition as much, but just forcing cheaters to play with other cheaters, I love it. I love it. It's like what every single company should do. And I hope this will prove effective. Maybe it could even prove more effective than actual banning. Because if cheaters play with cheaters, who cares? You know, we just have to make sure that regular people don't get matched with them. The only thing that's really surprises me is that they're capable of finding 100 cheaters within a few minutes. Well, it shouldn't be that surprising as there are about 1 million people playing at any given time these days. So finding 100 of them shouldn't be that hard. Though still 5 minutes is sort of ridiculous. It means every 5 minutes there's, like, if we say the average queue time is 5 minutes for cheaters, every 5 minutes there's at least 100 people playing with cheats. Though some of them will get repeated numbers because they're just, you know, they ended and they get to play a new game. Yeah, but in the future, this for smaller games, this might even work better. I don't mean smaller like the game isn't so successful. I actually mean smaller games in terms of how many players are in the match. There should be even easier to do. Okay, that's all I got to say about PUBG today. Let's go to Star Wars. I don't know which of these two, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I don't know which of these two news pieces is actually worse. One of them is that the refund for pre-order people has just not available anymore. So the button that allowed you to refund money is just gone. And the second is that the lowering of price they actually did after Reddit exploded on them. That's something we will talk about as well. It sort of has a catch. So let's start actually with the refund button removed. So previously, any game that you purchase can be refunded within 24 hours, or for open game within 7 days of purchase, or within 7 days release for pre-orders. And that's fair. You know, those are just things. I tried a game, I figured out that the game doesn't run well for me. I tried it and it seemed it's not the thing I expected it to be. But yeah, EA seems to make some precautions against pre-order cancellations by removing this button entirely. And that's just wrong. You shouldn't do that. The refund button should always be there. And just because you screwed up and introduced policies that are dumb as fuck, literally, EA, your policies concerning microtransactions in Battlefront were just dumb. And there probably is a decent number of people who want to cancel their pre-order. That's probably the reason they got rid of the button. I would guess that they didn't just do it. If nobody was doing any refunds, they probably wouldn't do it. But they probably saw a spike in refunds and they removed the button. That's just wrong. That's purely wrong. You shouldn't do it. You should always allow your people to get refunds. And in general, it just sucks. Why would you do this? This just means people will hate you even more. Make some goddamn sense for once, EA. Please. And the second part of news about Star Wars Battlefront 2 is actually about the fact that at first it seemed that EA actually caved in and they decided to lower the prices of characters. So previously, as we said yesterday, characters to cost about 60,000 credits to buy, you know, the better ones. And, well, they have been reduced by 75%. And who could complain about it? It's like, yeah, it's great. They probably just wanted to do that because people were complaining. So now we don't have anything to complain. But there's a pretty big catch. They also lowered the rewards. So time-wise, nothing has changed. So to give an example, completing the Star Wars Battlefront story campaign reward players with 20,000 credits. Right now, it's been reduced to 5,000 credits. That's the same exact change. Why would you do that? That's just... You think people won't notice? Seriously? The people who completed those probably won't notice, but new players will still notice that it takes freaking forever to unlock characters. You need to make the numbers slower, not because we want the numbers to be lower, we want the time it takes to unlock characters to be lower. We want our gameplay time to be meaningful. If you hide everything behind a paywall or a grind, then the grind has to take a decent amount of time. It shouldn't take forever to unlock one character. And say you really want to unlock everything, and it will take you a few hundred hours to unlock it. And that's not even talking about like individual skins and colors and tints and loot boxes. That's just for the characters. It's like, imagine if they decided to release a new Dragon Ball game and Goku was hidden behind a paywall. Nobody would be happy. It's the same here. Why is Darth Vader behind a paywall? Why is Luke Skywalker behind a paywall? None of these characters should be hidden behind a paywall. Only the characters that are more obscure should be behind a paywall, because only the true fans will want him. Even casuals want to play as Darth Vader. I understand the business decision behind it, but seriously, EA, you're just making one mistake after another with Star Wars Battlefront 2. Stop being dumbasses and do the things right. Then people will like you as a studio. There was a time where people liked you as a studio because you were making good games and fair games. Right now your games are decent. I'm not saying they're complete crap. The games are good, and as I heard, the single player campaign is actually very well done. But if people want to play multiplayer in the games, and that's the reason most people will be buying Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the multiplayer, then they also have some actually right to play as the characters they want to. I'm not saying they should get all the characters at once, but they should be able to get the characters at a reasonable amount of time without spending much money. Because right now you got essentially two options. Just dedicate your life to Star Wars Battlefront 2 or pay money. And none of these options is good. You need to make your games accessible. Right now we know that Star Wars Battlefront will launch on the 17th for PSP, PS4 and Xbox One. Fix it until that happens. Make the rewards high again, but still I would say go even lower with the price of characters, because if you reduced everything by 75%, that means 10 hours of gameplay for good characters, assuming 2 hours of play each day, and that's not a low amount of playtime for casuals. That's pretty high up there. That means it would take you at least a week to unlock one single character. That's still too much. You should probably get a character in a day or two of normal play. That would be actually around 2 hours of game time. So that means players who really want to grind can grind up most of the game's characters within 1 or 2 weeks. It shouldn't take you a few months to unlock everything. That's dumb. Don't do that, EA. And that's probably going to be it for today. You can see I'm really pissed about Star Wars Battlefront, and I'm actually really glad I didn't recommend this to you guys during the podcast that happened on Sunday. Seriously, EA. EA is just an evil corporation these days. It's sad. Remember the days they made good games? Those were the days. But anyways, I hope you guys liked today's news segment. If you did, be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. If you're watching this on Steam, be sure to upvote. Be sure to follow our blog. And if you have anything you would like to add, be sure to comment either under the video or in the Steam post. And with that being said, see you guys later with more gaming content.